Here's an interesting thing that most people don't think about. They are lifelong learners. So even if they don't possess the exact skills that you need, they're used to what we call PCS, a permanent change of station. They're used to PCSing every 2 to 3 years, changing jobs. The other thing is, during the recent wars, we've had to kind of reinvent our military. So there were artillerymen used to pulling lanyards and shooting artillery shells down range, and all of a sudden they have to become the mayoral cell of a city. And that's what they do, because we weren't shooting a whole lot of artillery in the wars, but we were doing a lot of peacekeeping and counterinsurgency operations. So we ran out of units that did that kind of stuff, and we had to recreate them. Lifelong learners. So it's kind of like Google. There's a field manual, Army regulation, whatever they call it in the Air Force, if they have them in the Air Force, I don't know. But they're used to finding a technical manual for their hand receipts and inventory and everything. They're good with technology because the technology changes so quickly. There's a new M16, M4 rifle now. There's an 8-cog sight with a little red dot in it they have to become exceptional with. All the radios change every 2 to 3 years. So they go back and they read the manuals. They figure it out. They're lifelong learners. They're not afraid to do that, not afraid to research. They've been doing it every 2 to 3 years. Let me give you an example. There are 2 combat airborne engineer battalions in the Army. I was privileged to command one of them. Okay? It's about a 600-person organization, and my head used to look like that right there, except I had a little tuft right there. It was high and tight, because that's the standard. Now people kind of freak out for me when you get a high and tight running around, so I decided to civilianize myself. But okay, I used to be much more fit. Running in front of 600 soldiers down Ardennes at Fort Bragg, taking them 4 miles out, bringing them out, doing push-ups and all that kind of stuff. I mean, these young soldiers, brave young men and women, there wasn't a better job in the U.S. Army Engineers. And it was a very coveted job, and I loved every minute of it. Okay? Jumping out of airplanes at 10 minutes after midnight, 800 feet above ground level, going 130 knots with 300 other paratroopers in the air. Guess who was the first one to jump out? Me. I love it. I'm sorry, can you tell? That's why I get all excited about this, okay? So I went from doing that job to being the dean of the engineering school. I mean, there are not 2 job descriptions that are more diametrically opposed than the U.S. Army Engineer Regiment. I'm confident of it. What did I know about being the dean of the engineer school? But there's a place to learn, and I'm used to it. I had to figure it out. I was a supply officer before. I went from being a supply officer to an operations officer. Operations to logistics, So they're used to doing it, changing jobs and figuring it out. Now, that's one of the challenges, that we don't get really specialized in that, and sometimes for HR professionals that can be a challenge too, because you don't see the experience that you're looking for. But if you're willing to give them the chance, based on some of the things we talked about, perhaps you can find it, and perhaps they can impress you.